Good morning, everyone. I'm so glad you're here with us at Quality Sewing and Vacuums How to Why today. It's Tuesday. Today we're going to be going over how to do some simple alterations. It's that time of year again when there's proms, quinceaneras, and weddings, and everybody needs their dresses altered. So today I'm going to be working on the Baby Lock Acclaim, and I'm going to be showing you how to do a simple rolled hem. And this will be amazing and totally revolutionize your alterations. Okay, this is a dress that we're going to be working on today. This is one of my clients. I've had her for about 5 years. When people know that you can do simple alterations, they will love you for a lifetime. So I actually started with her doing some alterations for some dance clothes, and it's her prom this year, so I get to do her prom dress. So I've got it up here, half hanging up like this, so you can see that I'm working on the hemline, so I don't have to sit on the floor. I put it up like this. You can see that I've already tried it on her, and I've already marked out the hemline right here. Now she wants a bit of a tail, so I'm only going to be hemming the very front part where her feet will go, where she will walk. Now, in order to get your hemline, something you want to keep in mind when you're doing alterations is the girls need to have the correct shoes that they're going to wear and also the correct underwear that they're going to be wearing. Bras, corsets, anything like that is going to change how the dress will fit them and fall and the length of your hem. So, with that in mind, I wanted to her front of her dress is really fun. You can see she's got this whole like side thigh panel right here that's in tulle that also connects up with the rest of her solid fabric right here. So Carrie, if you'll come in here, I'm going to show you this little part right here inside because it has a lining right here, and the edge of the hem just goes straight across. And as I was looking at that, I'm like, well, look what they did. They just took a little tiny notch out of the tulle right there. So and folded it up like that. So they could just keep on serging right through the top layer into the lining. So that's something you want to keep in mind when you are altering, is what the constructor has actually done before, so you can copy it. Okay, I've already started trimming it right here. And because I'm doing a rolled hem, that's what they actually did on this one. The original dress is just a simple rolled hem. I don't need much length right there. You can see I've just started to trim right below my needle line right here. And because this is tulle, you don't have to hem it. It doesn't come undone. So just make sure that you trim it really nicely. Okay. Over on this side, you can see that I've done my needles to go right into this line right here, because this is just a front flap right here. So I'm going to trim the rest of the way. I'm going to use these really cool Kai. They are dressmaking shears, and they are beautiful. It feels like they have a little bit of a serrated edge, which helps to grip the fabric as you go. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to start trimming right along this edge here. And I'm letting my fabric fall so I can see. I want to trim that needle right there. And I'm making sure I'm not cutting the fabric behind me. Nope, we're doing good. All right. This is the very exciting part right here. So my sister, she lives in Montana, and she can also alter dresses, and she has been approached by so many desperate mothers this season, and she had to turn some people away just because she didn't have time to do it. So she's actually going to teach her teenage daughters how to hem, because you spend a lot of money on your machines, right? Let's put them to work and make some money for you, because you can make $50 from just doing a hem on a dress. Okay, here we go. this side is going to be a lot easier to do over here because I'm not working so backwards. Okay, and I'm actually trimming the outer top layer and the lining at the same time right here. I'm going to separate those for a minute. Right to that edge so it's similar to the other side. Then I'm going to let the lining fall because we want that lining to be a little bit shorter behind than it is in the front. And you can see I stopped cutting because you could start to see the lining underneath, and you don't want to see the lining from underneath. You want to make that a little shorter. So I'm going to take a pin like so and just pin that up right there. And I'm going to trim this side a little bit shorter. And it seems like the lining is not as full as the outer edge. And my edges don't look that great. But that's okay because that is what your serger is for. Your serger is going to clean up those edges as you go. I'm going to pull that out. And voila, we have our nice edge just like that. Okay, I'm going to take a second and pull out all these pins right here, 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 and here. I'm going to pull out these pins too so I don't poke myself. Here, here, and here. And then the only part we have left is to trim our tool, just like this. Okay. I'm going to hold it up. It's easier for me to cut this way. I'm going to pull it out here. Get my awesome scissors here that really grip your fabric. Oh, aren't we lucky? Look, we got to go right between those jewels. Jewels are sometimes not very fun to go over. I'll trim that up. We're going to clean up our edges here. Right like that. Okay, I'm going to go back in there and lay this down and clean that up just a little bit. But what I'm going to do, remember that little snip? I'm going to put an ever so tiny snip right there, just like they did. So I can just continue one long seam right along there. Okay, we're going to hop on over to the machine here. Put this on my lap. Okay, I want to show you how to thread your machine really quickly. One thing that I love about Baby Lock is they have a cheat sheet. It has a little hole right here, and I just hang mine like right behind my serger on the wall because I can just easily see what I need to change on all my knobs and buttons and what threads I need to have really easily. So we want the three thread rolled edge right here. And I've actually brought in some fluffy threads. This one is called Aeroflock. And if you look at it, it's really fluffy. Can you see that? So when you put it on your rolled hem, it's really going to, it just fills up the extra fluffiness around the edge. Okay, so I have regular serger thread in these ones. These are your loopers right here, and the top threader that comes out here, I'm just going to leave with this regular thread. I'm going to open my machine up like so. I'm going to lift my needle. This little lever goes down to threading right there. And usually you can just cut these off and just put the new threads in here and put them here and push this to thread it. But this fluffy thread doesn't work like that because it's so big on the end, it won't go in the hole. So I am going to take my scissors. I'm going to trim it, but I'm going to leave some good tails right here. I'm going to set this aside right here like that. And I didn't have on hand the two of the same color, so I'm going to put the lighter color that doesn't match it super fabulously on this end side, because this is the one that you're going to see. I think this one is the upper, yep, this one is the upper looper down here, and this one is the one that you will see the most. I am going to take these little supports off because we don't need it, and your thread will get caught with these little guys here. I'm going to put these guys on like so. I'm going to thread it over the top here. There we go. All right. And anciently, I used to have a serger where I had to do all of it myself. It wasn't an air threader. So I learned very well how to tie a knot that will stay when you pull it through. So just over, under, like regular. And since this one, nope, the skinny thread is over top, I'm going in the back. That way, oh, this one is on the front, this one is in the back, like this. So I knotted them, I guess. This one is going to go over the top again and through the loop. And you know you've done it right when you pull on it and the ends match each side. Can you see that? The blue fluffy is with the fluffy, and the lighter blue regular thread is with the lighter thread. So you know you've done it right, and you've got a really secure knot when those match. Okay, I'm going to do it again. My husband got some sort of award for doing knots when he was in Boy Scouts. So I'm sure he knows the name of this knot. So this thread is going on top, underneath, and is coming out on top again, right? So it's also going to go over the top, through the hole, and when it comes out, they match on each side. So that I know is a really secure knot. Okay, now that we're done with our threading, I've got this going, and it says to just push the thread loopers like this. So I'm going to press my loopers. Nope. Let's see. Is my machine on? My machine is on. All right. What have I forgotten to do? Maybe I need to raise that. It worked earlier today. Now it's not going to work again. Let's see. All right. You guys are probably laughing at me because you know, oh, Andrea, all you have to do is this. Okay, it's down to threading, push the loopers, and it's not going. So because we are on a time limit, I'm just going to pull the threads manually, which will be okay too. That will work. There we go. We're just going to pull the loops. I know that there's probably a really great way. This is a little bit fancier of a machine than mine is. Come on. We're pulling those little loops through. There it goes. See, look, there it is. There they are. This is an old-fashioned way to thread your machine right here. Come on. It was working earlier. Those little knots are not wanting to go through. Come on. Don't want to break my threads. Those are all coming through. That one's coming through. Oh, look. Yay. There it is. Ta-da! Maybe they just didn't all want to come at the same time. Oh, there is. I know what I forgot to do. So come on here with me. So here, these loopers need to close right here. See these little canals right there? They need to attach over there in order to do this. But I forgot yesterday. They showed me how to do that. And I didn't watch what he did. All right, there we go. It was as simple as just pulling or just adjusting the wheel on the side here to close those little canals right there. All right. Yeah, I hope you guys are all laughing with me. Right. Okay, we've got all three of them there. Sorry, that took a little bit longer than I had anticipated. All right. Now I see all I have is 3 of our lines here. Ta-da! I'm going to release that back to serging. That is what we need right there. My watch is telling me, oh, so we're going to look at that cheat sheet, remember? It says we need just the right needle. I've got just the right needle. The length needs to be 0.75 to 4, whichever length you want. We want a small length. So I'm going to have Terry come over here so you can look at these little loopers right here. So we have it set down there. There's like a little swirl right here on the side, and it gets really tiny. And so we're going to set it right there where that's at. And on this side, it says rolled hem or standard. And this is the regular serging right here, which says standard. When you adjust it over here, this will go to your rolled hem right there. Okay, so we've got that set. We've got our right fluffy Aura Flocks. I almost call it Aura Fluffy thread. Aura Flocks thread in there. And I'm going to set my little cheat sheet aside. And what you want to do is always, if you've got your little trims, your little extras set aside right here. I'm going to cut off some of this so it's not so big and bulky. You want to test it out. You want to make sure that your tension is right, your length is right, your width is right. So I'm going to throw this in here really quickly. My foot is up. I'm going to put it down. I'm going to get that started. Okay, that's not right. Ah, I know what I forgot to do. I was thinking, wow, that looks weird. And it does, because you need to do the stitch selector too, which is on the side here. It says A, B, C, D. Stitch selector is going to put you on the rolled hem. All right. We go through all of that. This on my lap. Now let's try. See, there we go. Look at that beautiful rolled hem, right like that. Okay, and I'm just going to roll it off because that looks pretty good. Let's see. Hey, look at that. Our perfect rolled hem, just like that. So I'm going to toss that little section. And I've trimmed that little piece of tulle right there. And I'm going to start where they left off. And it looks like some of her hem is already starting to fuzz, and it got caught right there a little bit. So I'm going to start back here. And you can see I'm starting right into where the other stitching was done. And I'm going to go right over the top of that, what was done before. Okay. And that edge goes right there. And I'm going to watch my hem as I go. I am trimming a little bit off, but if there's any discrepancies, can you see how the edge, it kind of peaks up right there and then goes down, right like this? I'm going to kind of eyeball it and use the edge of my serger right here to keep it aligned with that so I can get a clean, crisp edge. Right there. And can you see how I'm holding the rest of the dress, the bulk of it, the weight of it right here? Because this is spandex, it is going to stretch. And if you stretch your spandex and not just let the machine feed it through itself, it'll do what's called a lettuce edge, where it will ruffle the edge and it'll be all wavy, which is really fun and cute if it's on like a little girl's dress, but not on a prom dress, unless it was specifically done that way. So I am holding the bulk and the weight of the dress so the machine can just feed it in all by itself. I'm going to set that over there so I can have both of my hands. Then I'm going to set this little piece up like this. And I'm just going to go right over the top, just like they did. We're almost done here. Keep feeding it in. Going to even out those edges right there. Almost there. And can you see how this has kind of a point right here? And I'm feeding into it even if you would like. I've been doing this for years, and so I can eyeball it right here. But this line is going to need to just ever so slightly just come into the line like this. But if you are not as confident, I would mark it for sure with our marker right here. This is our Choco liner from Clover. Has a little rolly edge right here and chalk inside of it. And so if you feel more confident, okay, it's not working on the serger right here. But you can, oh, there it goes. I think I was going the wrong way. You can actually mark your line if you're not as confident just eyeballing it. Okay, almost done here. You gradually want those seams to come together so it doesn't look like you hemmed it. Okay, how do I've got this far, how do I get off? Now that we've gotten to the stuff that's already done, I'm just going to slide out the edge just like that. And go straight off. You can cut a little tail, and I didn't bring one with me, but there's these little, it was like a big needle.
Double-eyed needle?
Yes, the double-eyed needles. And you can put your little end right in and re-thread it right into the end so you can't see it, just like that. Okay, I'm just going to do that one side so we can move on to other fun things. But there you have it. There is your beautiful rolled hem and altered hemline, and it didn't take long at all. And it just, your serger will just clean that edge up and leave a beautiful edge, just like that. I'll finish this on my own, this side, but also I wanted to show you, I put it on this iron right here because I wanted to talk to you about the Lara Star. The Lara Star is my favorite iron ever. If I could sing the glories of a tool in my sewing room, it would be the Lara Star. Okay, you see how our dress is all kind of wrinkly because it's been sitting across my lap. The Lara Star has this micro steam to it, and you let it go a little bit to make sure there's no little water droplets in it. You can just steam up your special occasion dresses just like this. And if you do get the dress in, if your customer brings in their dress and it's really wrinkly or the end is really wrinkly like so, you're going to want to steam out any of the edges of the hem or the skirt first because that will also make a difference in the length of the hemline as well. So also one thing about that micro steam in the Lara Star, it won't burn you down here. If you got closer to it, it will burn you. But it has the micro steam, so it's actually heated 2 times. It's heated in the container down here, and it's also heated when it comes out of the iron up here. And I do ballroom dancing with my husband, so I wear gowns like this all the time. And we dance for hours, so I get all sweaty and yucky. And the micro steam will actually kill out all the bacteria around like the armpits and everything, all the awful smells that you can get. And any of my fine fabrics and things, it will kill all the bacteria out. And I don't have to take it to the dry cleaners because I can do it with my amazing iron. And because I've been working with fine fabrics, special occasion fabrics for over 20 years, I have melted many fabrics before. I've been using the Lara Star for about 4 years now, and I have never melted my fine fabrics. It is worth the investment, every penny. So over here, I'm going to grab this fabric right here. I just wanted to put these through the machine right here as well, just to see what other fabrics you can do and how easy it is. So I've got chiffon. It's thin, it's filmy, and this is what like every bridesmaid's dress is made out of, I swear, right? I'm just going to put this through here just so you can see how easy it is to do a hem on chiffon. Now, because it is such a finicky fabric, I am holding the tail. I got it started, but I am holding the tail out here. I'm still letting the machine feed it in itself, but I'm holding the thread just a little because it wants to kind of go tight on these fine fabrics. So just gently holding the tail, just a little bit. And I found that will make your rolled edge on chiffon come out perfect every time. So that's chiffon. Here's some organza. Now organza is the stiffer fabric that a lot of like wedding dresses are made with. A layer there. Once again, I've got that tail started. Because this is kind of a finicky fabric as well, I am going to hold that tail and help it through. I don't want that to go back in there. It wants to go back in. If you have a little rogue scrap piece that wants to go in, make sure that you trim it so it doesn't get back into the sewing, because sometimes it likes to do that. Okay, I'm just gonna go fast so you can see. Organza, perfect every time. Okay, a lot of dresses like we just did are made out of this stretchy fabric as well. What I'll do is I'll cut it at an angle, at an edge, so you can see how it sews on a curve as well. So we'll throw that in there. Grab that tail because it wants to go back in. Okay, here's our upcoming curve. So I'm keeping my eye on right about here because I want to make sure that it's all guiding in about the same length. So I'm letting it hit right here so it can trim off about 1/4 of an inch, like so. Grab my, if you don't have a tail down here, or if you're doing like a long skirt, you can just hold on to the thread behind and with this hand and hold this on this side, okay? But once again, we are doing that stretchy fabric, so you don't want to stretch it too much, or you're going to get that lovely lettuce fluffy edge. Ruffled edge, I guess. Okay, so here's our stretchy fabric on a curve as well. And if you are doing curves, you can just sew it a little slower if you're not super confident in it. Okay, so here are our little samples of doing these fine edges right here, of how you can use your sewing machine to do all of these fine fabrics just like that. Okay, I wanted to do one more because there is another fabric that is not easy to put in here or to do a rolled hem on. It would be like a scuba fabric that is like thicker, stretchy spandex fabric than this, or like the satin taffeta. So we're going to hop over to this machine right here. I'm going to set all of my tools aside right here. And I do have some of this scuba. And if, Carrie, you want to look down over here, this is what I meant by ruffling. When I tried to do this on this one, no matter how I adjusted the edge, the tension, the width of the rolled hem, this is what it looked like. And I don't want that edge, especially if you're doing like a special occasion dress or something. You don't want it unless it's specifically meant to ruffle like that through the whole dress. If you want a flat edge, it wasn't going to happen with that rolled edge. So sometimes you need to go to plan B. Okay, so I've got this little guy set up just on a regular old 4-thread machine right here. And find my foot. I'm just going to feed it in here just to show you another way to do a rolled hem. Okay. So I just put it through the machine like that. That's all. I'm going to give this a trim. And even here it wants to do that funny thing. Okay. So you can simply just fold that edge up like that. Actually, I'm going to fold it this way because that's the right side of the fabric and that's the wrong side of the fabric. It wants to fold that way. Okay. You can merely, there we go. Just fold it under. Like so. You can also do a 3-strand serging as well and make this about half the size so it gets even smaller. I'll show you that in a second, what I meant by that. See, so this was done with 4 strands in the serger, but if you put 3 strands in and only do the right needle, it will make the serging about half this length. So it's only about that wide, and then it will be even more of a tiny little rolled over hem right there. And there you go. Right on the top of there, you have a beautiful edge, the rolled hem effect. Easy, fast, without having to go through all the ironing that goes along with it. Because you already serged it, that edge just folds over perfect like that. So, thank you for joining us today. I hope that really helps you with all the upcoming dresses and special occasions that you will be doing as well. Make your machines work for you. You've paid a lot of money, and once people know that you can alter even just a simple hemline, because these dresses come like 4 inches to 6 inches too long for the average person, right? So you can charge quite a good little amount for hemming and edge, and there are many people that need those services. So I hope that you learned a lot today. Thank you, and join us next week for our How Do I?